That's right. He suited up 80 games with the Magic during the 2002-2003 season. But the announcement doesn't come as a surprise because for weeks now, Vaughn has been the widely favored candidate among the other finalists, including Philadelphia 76ers associate head coach Michael Curry and Phoenix Suns player development coach Lindsey Hunter. It does provide some relief, however, for the Magic since firing Stan Van Gundy back in May. True Blue Nation has been on a magic carpet ride, if you will, with its disgruntled franchise player Dwight Howard. The hiring of Vaughn provides some stability for the organization through these turbulent times. Now, Hennigan said Vaughn has great leadership skills and is, quote, confident that his diligence, attention to detail, and communication style will help establish the bedrock of our culture moving forward, end quote. Vaughn played 12 seasons in the NBA as a point guard, typically dubbed as the coach on the court. Now, this is Vaughn's first head coaching job, but he spent the last 2 seasons as an assistant coach with the San Antonio Spurs under head coach Greg Popovich. Vaughn helped the Spurs win its 4th NBA title in 2007, and during that time, the Magic GM worked there. Now, even with limited coaching experience, Vaughn has been coached by some of the best in the game. In addition to Pop, there's Jerry Sloan and Winter Park resident Doc Rivers. Vaughn and Magic fans, though, will have to be patient as the team appears to be a work in progress. And I know blue and white fans don't want to hear this word, rebuild, but the Magic may find themselves having to start from scratch if Dwight Howard does leave.
Yeah, that's not something any of us want to think about, talk about, or live through, of course. Tiffany, one thing about Dwight Howard, do you think this choice of head coach will make him scratch his head and say, well, maybe we'll stay, maybe it pushes him, or does it have anything to do with Dwight Howard's decision?
I don't think it will impact his decision as whether he wants to stay or be traded. He's made it very clear. He wants to leave Orlando. So even though they have hired a new head coach, it's not the one that he preferred. Brian Shaw, Mike Malone were the names that were called out a little bit earlier. They said, you know, those were some candidates at the time. They withdrew or were taken out of consideration. So Dwight Howard made it pretty clear who he wanted. He didn't get who he wanted. And even though Jacques Vaughn is a great choice for the Magic, it will not have any bearing, I don't think, on Dwight staying in Orlando.
There. Hi, Tiffany.
Hey there, Jackie. Well, you know what? The new era began for the Orlando Magic on Saturday as Spurs assistant coach and former Magic player Jacques Vaughn was named the 10th head coach in team history. Now, this is Vaughn's first head coaching gig, but GM Rob Hennigan was really high on him. You know, the two met about 6 years ago in the San Antonio Spurs organization. Hennigan was in the front office and Vaughn was a player. Now they meet again in Orlando. Vaughn played one of his 12 seasons in the NBA with the Orlando Magic and spent the last 2 years under Greg Popovich on the sideline. Pop was quoted as saying, Jacques Vaughn is a star, and it appears the Magic view him in the same high regard, saying he has the basketball smarts and passion to represent and lead the team with class. Now, Vaughn will have his hands full as he comes into the position with the Magic in flux with their superstar Dwight Howard. It's very possible that he may not have his services for very long, so there could be some rocky years going forward for the Magic. Jackie?
This is breaking news on Bright House Sports Network.
Thanks for joining us on Bright House Sports Network as we are just moments away live here from the Amway Center awaiting the introduction of the Magic's new head coach. And that new era started on Saturday as Spurs assistant and former Magic player Jacques Vaughn became the 10th head coach in team history. Now, this is Vaughn's first head coaching gig, but Rob Hennigan is very high on him, saying that he is passionate and he is always purposeful in everything that he does. Now, they met about 6 years ago in the San Antonio Spurs organization. Vaughn was a player. Hennigan was in the front office. Now they are rejoined together again in Orlando. Vaughn played one of his 12 NBA seasons with the Magic during the 2002-2003 campaign under another very familiar gentleman by the name of Doc Rivers, a Winter Park resident. And like Vaughn, or like Rivers, Vaughn also is getting his first shot at a head coaching job with the Orlando Magic. And he spent the last 2 seasons on the bench with Greg Popovich as an assistant, and we know that he is one of the best coaches in the game today. And Coach Popovich said that, you know what, Jacques Vaughn is a star, he told one of the San Antonio newspapers. So we are highly anticipating the arrival of Jacques Vaughn as members of the media are getting together and waiting to see what Vaughn has to say. Again, he played for 5 different NBA teams, as it appears that Dan DeVos, Rob Hennigan, Jacques Vaughn, and Alex Martins are entering in. We'll take a listen. As you heard so many different issues addressed with the Magic, many surrounding the future of Dwight Howard. What will Jacques Vaughn do? What will the Magic brass do with their disgruntled superstar? Jacques Vaughn obviously having his hands full with moving forward with the Magic. But as you can see, the front office is very pleased with their hire. I mean, very high praises for Jacques Vaughn all around, from the chairman, Dan DeVos, all the way down to the general manager, Rob Hennigan, saying that his approach, his discipline, his communication skills, just an overall leader will be great for the Magic. Alex Martins reiterated that this was a 14-year process, 12 seasons as a player in the NBA, the last 2 as an assistant for the San Antonio Spurs. And he came from a great tree. Greg Popovich, he gave a lot of praise to as one of the coaches who really influenced him, along with Jerry Sloan, his first NBA head coach with the Utah Jazz, and then Roy Williams with the Kansas Jayhawks. So much moving forward for Jacques Vaughn, but he had full command, if you saw in that press conference, of about 30-plus minutes, answering questions that were being thrown at him, and you could tell the type of high-character guy that he was. We're trying to get OrlandoMagic.com writer John Denton in for just a couple of questions, just to get his take on the press conference. But Jacques Vaughn has so much to offer the Magic field to this organization, and he's not really concerned, he said, with who will be suiting up in a Magic uniform. He said he is just looking forward to coaching anyone who wants to play. He's a very simple guy, only wants you to bring your best to the floor. And so whether or not Dwight Howard suits up for the Magic or plays out his final season of the contract, he will be coaching the guys that go on the floor, a product that the community will be proud of. So many things moving forward, and the Rob Hennigan and the Magic really stayed true to form, and as it relates to the process and trying to find a head coach that had a championship type pedigree. Vaughn won the 4th NBA ring for the San Antonio Spurs back in the 2006-2007 season, and he's looking to bring a championship caliber mentality to the Orlando Magic as well. Now, again, 12 seasons in the NBA, 2 as an assistant with the San Antonio Spurs. So many of his former coaches are high on him, along with the Orlando Magic, as they sang his praises. 37-year-old getting his first head coaching opportunity with the Orlando Magic. And as you could hear in the press conference, the front office wasn't really going to address whether this was going to be a rebuilding or reloading type of season, but for many, they are speculating that they will be rebuilding if Dwight Howard does not play with the Orlando Magic. Vaughn, tough task ahead of him, but I believe he is up to the challenge. As much as you heard on the podium, he is very confident in his ability, and just like he said, the Magic brass took a leap of faith on him. He is looking to take that leap of faith with the Orlando Magic. So plenty of media types are leaving the press conference as Jacques Vaughn is now the 10th head coach in team history. Live from the Amway Center, I'm Tiffany Greene, and for all the latest, make sure you check out our updates on BHSN.com.